Chemo Buddies is a nonprofit organization. It's a group of volunteers that come together and serve at OHA, the Chancellor Center, and Deaconess. For anyone getting chemotherapy, we are in the treatment room while they're getting their treatment, which can be between 3 and 6 hours usually, and we just kind of take care of them like they're a guest in our home. We get them anything they may need, and we hang out and talk and just try to help the day be more pleasant. Well, I actually came to chemo with my sister Karen for 2 years while she was fighting breast cancer, and we could not believe how busy the nurses are, but how many people come to chemo that are alone.
They didn't have family support. They were at a point in their life where it was a tough time. You know, they were just diagnosed, like myself, with maybe a terminal cancer and didn't know what to do.
And it's not necessarily because they don't have anyone who cares about them, but it's such a time-consuming thing that they don't necessarily have somebody who can take off work that many hours for that long of a time. So a lot of people end up being alone. And she called me her chemo buddy because I was taking care of her, and then as my older sister, she'd boss me around and say, look at that guy over there, he's cold, go get him a blanket, or Jill's getting me a drink, anybody need anything? And she, you know, we would just kind of take care of our little group. So after a while noticing this, she and I wrote a program called Chemo Buddies that just would introduce volunteers into the treatment environment and just do what we do. And so we wrote it together to try and, you know, make a difference in this little section of the world that we found ourselves in.
As I thought about this, I think the most basic human need is to know that somebody cares for you. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And most of us are blessed to have great families and people that love us and care for us. And I think that is exhibited every day, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically by Chemo Buddies.
And they just take care of you, take care of your every need, no matter what it is. They're always here. They also become your absolute best friends. I know the girls that are here. I come every other Monday, and I know them very well. We talk, we laugh, we share, we tell stories. It's wonderful.
When you are facing a fight for your life, you want to know that it matters to somebody. You want to know that your life is of meaning and that people care for you. And that's what they communicate every day to patients in this office.
The second time that I took my chemo, Chemo Buddies was here. And it was just such a difference. For the people that were alone and didn't have someone with them, they sat and talked to them. They held their hand, they prayed for them. They brought them little comforts like drinks and lunches and just a lot of love and joy. The difference between the two was the first time it was a sad, lonely place, and the second time I can't say it was joyous, but it was better.
A lot of our volunteers are retired. We've got some retired school teachers, retired nurses, and just retired stay-at-home moms that don't have children anymore. And some people do work part-time, and then they're here on their off days. So quite a few are survivors, and that's always a good thing because they really understand what the patient's going through.
It's one of the most rewarding things I've done. I spent 42 years in education. I found this is just a fantastic way to, I guess, give back in a way. I feel so lucky, and to be able to come in and help people who are going through a very traumatic experience every week has just been very heartwarming and very fulfilling for me.
Volunteers will, first of all, I tell them they're the only ones in the building who can just stop and listen and talk to a patient, because everybody else has got a paid job, they got to get things done. So we're more laid back, and we can just hang out if somebody needs to talk. But we also work on getting them snacks or lunch or drinks, or if they need a pillow or a blanket. So basically anything that the patient might need that they wouldn't necessarily have if we weren't here.
At first I thought I could just go in like an airline stewardess and serve people drinks and smile and be chatty, and yet you get a lot more involved with people than you expect, and it's a wonderful thing. Sometimes it's a sad thing, but more often it's a happy thing.
Well, on their first day of chemo, that is just terrifying. It is the most frightening day ever. And so one of the things that we've done, we have these first day bags, and these are decorated by students in our local schools. And it's got some information sheets and things like that in it, but it also has, like, this is called a port pillow, and it would go between the port and the seat belt to make that more comfortable. And a game book, because you're killing a lot of time in here, and the all necessary hand sanitizer and some candy and Kleenexes and a journal and another little book, and just little things that they may have forgotten or just help the day go a little easier. And it almost doesn't even matter what's in here, because they're sitting there so frightened, and when you come over and you introduce yourself and you tell them about this, and they realize all these people who are rooting for them and caring for them that they may never even meet, and it just breaks the ice, and the transformation on their faces when it just takes some of the fear out of the day, and it starts the day off, instead of being so much angst, it can transform that into, oh, well, that's nice.
They would sit here and hold your hand. They would talk with you. I was fortunate. My husband was able to come and be with me every time I came. But they are truly a gift from Heavenly Father.
I'm thinking, what would matter to me? Somebody cares about me. Not, gee, I wish I had a better car, a nicer house, I'd have graduated higher in my class. Somebody cares, and that's what they do.
Well, celebrations, it's just beyond description. It's kind of ironic, though. You feel happy for them that they're leaving, but there's kind of, you hate to see them leave, because you've been so, you've developed a real relationship with people. And, but again, to see them not have to go through this anymore is just beyond description, because you've watched them go through a lot of ups and downs, and now they're feeling good about their life and themselves and how things are going. So it's a fantastic experience.
We have the schools, we have churches, we've had a bunco group, we've had a patient, and some of our friends held a ladies' tea to help raise money, and they bought us an iPad for the patients to use. It was a very successful event. So I always tell people, just what's in your circle of influence? There's no specific thing, just what can you do from where you are and the people you know. Our website at mychemobuddies.com is a wealth of information on how you can support us or how you can volunteer, and anything new that's happening. It's very current.